Welcome back. This morning we continue our look at East Tennessee's African American history makers. Nestled in Newmarket is a place that played a pivotal role in the civil rights movement nationwide. And in 2017, the Highlander Research and Development Center still playing an important part. The Highlander Research and Development Center was established in 1932. It wasn't always in Newmarket, Tennessee, but it's always called Tennessee home.
It's a beautiful legacy and a great responsibility. We take that really seriously here.
For decades, it has served as an adult education center for community workers, hoping to bring social and economic justice to local communities, most notably the civil rights movement of the 50s and 60s.
There's so many East Tennessee connections, right? The freedom rides came through East Tennessee. So many people from East Tennessee were actually critically important to the way that civil rights happened across the region, but especially in our state. This is a bigger picture of what I was showing you earlier.
Co-executive Director Ashley Woodard Henderson says the results of efforts from activists like Rosa Parks didn't come by chance, but from deliberate actions through Highlander.
She came with a lot of other really brilliant minds like Dr. King and others, and they made a plan, and that plan not only impacted the Montgomery bus system, it impacted people across the region, right? Black bus lines literally came to make sure that black folks in Montgomery were going to be able to get back and forth. All of that stuff was a part of a plan. It didn't just happen because she got tired.
More than 5 decades later, and Highlander is still an important part of community activism. To meet the growing needs at the Highlander Center, a new dorm was opened called the Lillian Johnson Lodge. It's a place where participants can come and just rejuvenate and also go about the work of planning. This room is one of the most recognizable at Highlander.
I think this room and that view is what folks think about when they think about Highlander. And I think it's a sacred space because people come and they're their most vulnerable selves in these rocking chairs. And they sit in rocking chairs, some of which have names on them of other people who have been movement leaders.
The work attributed to the center is celebrated today, but during some of its most controversial times in the 60s, it was seen as a threat to the segregated way of life that many Americans weren't ready to change.
All over Tennessee, they started putting up these billboards that said like Highlander was a communist training school with Martin Luther King. And so this is some of that history, some photos from that time, some like information about what folks were saying about us in that time.
And that's a critical point that she makes about what they were saying, calling them a communist school
Right.
at that time. In the 1960s, the state, Tennessee actually closed down the center because they were saying it was a communist school. They ended up opening in Newmarket. They were in Mount Eagle, which is closer to Chattanooga,
Right.
for a time. But the history there is simply amazing. Now they do a lot of work for Appalachian communities, for the coal miners, and it's just their history is so varied. It's more than just civil rights that they do there at the Highlander. It's amazing.
Try to help out, reach out to a lot of people, that's for sure. Highlander Center, by the way, celebrates its 85th anniversary this September.